Let's talk about another interesting problem. We want to create a dynamic chart where we can compare the sales of our top products. But we should be able to choose how many products we want to compare. For example, if I specify 5 here, we should see the top 5 products by sale. But if we choose 2, then we should only see the top 2 products and their sales. For that, we have some random transactional data for the year 2021, and from this dataset, we want to identify the top selling products. This sheet has multiple rows for a single product. So first we need to create an aggregate dataset where we will have a single row for each product and their corresponding sales. For getting the unique product list, we can use our unique function with product name as our array. And here we get the unique list of products. Let's get the corresponding sales for these products as well. For that, we will use the SUMIF function. Product column will be our range. Let's select that. Our criteria will be this cell and we will return our sales column as the sum range. Let's select that as well. Now we can either drag this down or we can use another cool feature of dynamic array. If instead of specifying this cell as the criteria, we choose the entire range, Excel automatically understands that we want to use the SUMIF function for the below values as well, and it will compute the output for us. Prior to 2018, this was not possible. A single formula would have given output in a single cell. But with introduction of dynamic arrays, things have changed. This also means that dynamic array concept is not restricted to unique sort, filter or sequence, but it can also be used with our existing functions like SUMIF and VLOOKUP. Now we have a single row for each product and their corresponding sales. We want to show the details for only the top selected products, and we can do that using our filter function. So here we want to filter our product column, and now instead of showing all the values, we want to show the top selling products only. Whenever we talk about top or bottom, we can use our large and small functions. They return the kth largest or smallest value from a range. Let's understand this with an example. Here we want to return the salary of the 2 top earning employees. Whenever we want to return multiple rows, filter function can help us do that. Now which rows we want to return will be determined by the salary. One option is that we calculate the second highest salary using large. Let's do that. So we will write large. Salary will be our first array and we want the top 2 salary. So we will select the value from this cell to be our second parameter and we get the value as 40. Now we need to return details of employee who earned at least 40 bucks. We can do that using filter function. Since we want to return both rows, we will write filter and we will select the entire range as our first column. Now we only want to return rows where the salary is greater than or equal to 40. So we will write salary column greater than equals to the value of this cell. Let's close the bracket and now we get the top 2 employees. If we change the value to 3, we will get the top 3 employees and so on. So using filter and large, we were able to return the top employees. Let's club the large formula inside filter itself. So instead of selecting the value from this cell, now we will just paste our large formula itself and we get the same result. If we change the row to 1, we get the highest earning employee. Let's go back to our original scenario and we will solve it with filter in large to get the top K products. Here in this scenario, right now our K is 3. So we will write equals to filter. Then we will select our product column as our first parameter. For our second parameter, we will select our sales range. Now because we want to filter the top values on the basis of sales, we will write greater than equals to large. We will again select our sales range, and to make our large function dynamic, we will select the K value from this cell. Now when we press enter, we are getting the top 3 products. If we change that to 5, we will get the top 5 products. Let's calculate the sales as well for these products. We can use SUMIF or we can use any of the lookup functions. Let's use VLOOKUP. This cell will be our lookup value. These two columns will be our lookup array, and we want to get the second column as output and an exact match. Now again, we can either drag it down to get the sales for the remaining products, or as we discussed earlier, we can add hash to our lookup value and it will give us the sales for all our listed products. When we used hash, Excel understood that we wanted to calculate the VLOOKUP for all values in this range. So now when we are changing this number, the dataset is changing accordingly. Let's plot a chart from this dataset and see if that chart will also change automatically. So we select this range, we click on insert, followed by recommended charts, and then we select the clustered column chart. Let's resize the area of our chart real quick. When we are increasing the number of products, the chart is not changing accordingly. Also, if we are reducing the number of products, the area of chart remains the same and we see some blank space here. This is because our chart range is not dynamic. Let's right click on our chart and click on select data. Click on edit, and now let's try to add hash symbol to our first cell to make it dynamic. Let's remove everything after the first cell reference and add hash. When we click OK, Excel is not allowing us to do that, and this is because Excel does not recognize hash inside our series. An alternate way to tackle this is by creating a name range. Let's click cancel. We will click on formulas and define name. Let's give our range a name, unique product, and we select this cell and press hash so that this name range refers to the entire range of this dynamic array. Let's click OK. It did not give us any errors. Let's create a name range for sales as well. We will give it a name, top sales, and we will select this cell followed by hash. Now let's right click on our chart again, select data, then click on edit. Now remove everything after your sheet name, and then you need to write the sales name range we just created. If you want to see the name of your name range, you can click F3 to see it. Let's change this one as well. Edit. Let's remove everything after our sheet. Let's click F3. If F3 does not work for you, try pressing function and F3. Click OK. And now when you change the values, your chart is changing accordingly. Let's try a couple of more options to ensure that our chart is responsive. It seems it's working fine, which is pretty cool. Excel has a bunch of formatting options for our charts. We can add labels, remove grid lines, change colors, font. We will look at all the charts and their related formatting options in our charts and formatting section.